Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Kweli, the Anti-Burnout Coach for high achieving professional women. Welcome to the 10th episode of the Anti-Burnout Live series, Thrive Beyond Burnout. So again, we have 12 episodes scheduled, and this is episode 10. The last two episodes next week and the following week are all about boundaries and saying no. So I hope you'll join me for those as well. Today's topic is Unplug to Recharge, practical tips for reducing screen time. So we'll discuss the benefits of cutting back on screen time and share some practical strategies that will help you step back from digital distractions, reduce stress, and reclaim your mental clarity and focus. And we'll also discuss why reducing screen time is critical, especially for those who are experiencing burnout. So before we dive in, I have a question. I would love to know what digital distraction is most overwhelming for you. Is it email? Is it social media? Does a specific social media app have you in a chokehold, like Instagram for me? Is it news updates? So please answer in the comments. I'm so curious. And while you're typing, I'll just say, for me, it is Instagram. And I'll be the first to admit that I have struggled with excessive screen time and just mindlessly scrolling, especially on Instagram. I am getting better, but in this digital age, it's so easy to get caught up in the scrolling, the notifications, the constant news notifications also. And I don't know what it is about Instagram for me, but something about that algorithm just will have me swiping and scrolling for what seems like 5 minutes, but it's an hour. So I've been trying to do something about it. Some time ago, I decided I was going to use one of the iPhone has like a timer, a time limit, like you can set a daily time limit. So I would set 30 minutes on my time limit for Instagram. And I thought that that would be plenty. And I would be shocked when it would tell me that my time was up. And I must admit, I would just ignore the limit. I would hit ignore and go for another 15 minutes. And then I'd be shocked again when the 15 minutes was up. So I actually removed that time limit. And I will just say, in my defense, part of what I do as the anti-burnout coach is I need to do some things on social media. And I will also admit that scrolling late at night is not one of those things, but I digress. Anyhow, one of the things that has been helpful for me is something called the 1Sec app. And what that is an app. I have the free version of the 1Sec app, but what it does is it makes me pause for like 5 to 10 seconds while Instagram loads, and then it puts a message up that says it's time to take a deep breath. And so when I see that, then it makes me think, do I really need to be on Instagram? So sometimes I don't even go on. So it just makes me a little bit more intentional and mindful about what I'm doing. So it's 1Sec, like ONESEC, like 1 second. So you may want to try that. I see some movement in the corner of my eye here. Let's see. Hi, Keisha. Hi, Romeldia. Romeldia says, that's exactly the space I'm in. Hi, Imani. And Norman and Karen. Hey, Karen. Good to see you. Okay, so let's talk about the importance of reducing screen time. So why is reducing screen time so important, especially for those who are experiencing burnout? Well, when you're burned out, you're already feeling overwhelmed and exhausted. And it's easy to lose hours just mindlessly scrolling on your phone. Um, that not only wastes your time, but it can also actually increase your sense of burnout. So, being intentional about how you spend your time is crucial when you're already feeling exhausted and depleted. But beyond just wasting time, the constant screen use, whether it's for work or social media or news updates, can add to mental fatigue and stress and anxiety. And remember, burnout is often caused by excessive and prolonged stress. So the last thing we want to do is add more stressors to our day. So digital distractions also bring added noise, comparisons, and pressure. For example, scrolling on social media can leave us feeling like we're missing out or like we're not doing enough. And it's important to remember that what we're seeing online is often someone else's highlight reel, and we're comparing that to our real life. So that's just something to keep in mind. That can make you feel kind of bad sometimes, can make you feel inadequate or dissatisfied, and that's not helpful either. So there's lots of good reasons to really think about your screen time and to be more intentional about it. And by reducing your screen time, we give our brains a chance to unplug and recharge. And this not only reduces stress, but it also can help to improve focus and enhance creativity and just support your overall well-being. So it allows us to feel more grounded and present and connected to what's happening around us in the real world. So stepping back from digital distractions creates some space for us to breathe and reflect and reconnect with what truly matters to us. Oh, and I see we need a plan we need a plan for this these distractions. It's the truth. Okay, so let's explore some practical strategies, a plan to help you reduce screen time so that you can unplug and recharge. And I have 10 listed here. So number one, set screen time limits. So use your phone's built-in settings to set daily screen time limits for specific apps. So this is a simple but effective way to make yourself aware of how much time you're actually spending online. And again, I think you'll be surprised with how quickly 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes can go by. And using these time limits also helps you to create boundaries around your digital consumption. So I've only done this on the iPhone. I'm not sure about Android, but on the iPhone, you go to settings, and then you go to screen time, and then you go to app limits. And then you can choose the app that you would like to set a limit for. Okay, so that's number one, setting time limits. Number two, use the 1Sec app that I was just talking about. So this is effective. It's been really helpful for me, and it prompts you to pause and take a deep breath before you open the app. And so that creates a moment of mindfulness that can help you break the habit of just mindlessly scrolling. And I have the free account, so I can only put it on one app. So I use it for Instagram, which is the one that I struggle with the most. So maybe try that out to see if it will help you. Okay, number three, schedule tech-free time. So you can designate certain times of the day as tech-free, like the first hour after you wake up, or the last hour before going to bed. This gives your mind a break from constant digital stimulation, and it helps to establish a routine that prioritizes rest and recovery. So I try to do this with my phone in the morning because I found if I got up and got right on my phone that I could be on there for 30, 45 minutes easy. Um, so even though I've gotten much better with my phone, I still typically end up on my laptop within the first hour of getting up. So I wouldn't say that I'm tech free for that first hour, but I try to be phone free, as much as I can. And I give myself grace also. Okay, number 4, create digital boundaries. So this is a little bit different than the last one. Here you are deciding which parts of the day will be digital free. So this could mean no phones at the dinner table, or no checking work emails after 6 p.m. or whatever time you decide, or setting specific times to check social media. So establishing these boundaries helps to create a healthier relationship with technology. And I just want to say, one of the things that makes me so sad is when I go out to dinner, and I'll see like a family that's out to dinner and everyone is on their phone, like no one is talking to each other. And I think I just think we really need to consider the missed opportunities for connection that we have, that our phone is getting in the way of. So just think about that. I'll add one more thing. I think this is especially important for parents, because when your child is trying to speak to you and you're holding a phone in your hand while they're talking, even if you're not actively scrolling on the phone, if you're holding a phone in your hand while your kid is trying to talk to you, you are non-verbally communicating to the child that the phone is very important. We're all guilty of being addicted to our devices, but just keep it in mind and just try to be very intentional and understand the impact of what that might feel like to the person that's right in front of you. I'll leave that at that. Okay. Number 5. Okay. So because I got off on a tangent, number 4 was create digital boundaries. Number 5, batch your digital tasks. So try batching digital activities together. For example, set aside specific times to check and respond to emails instead of doing it throughout the day. This can help reduce the feeling of always being on and can improve your productivity. So Tim Ferriss, who is the author of The 4-Hour Work Week, talks about only checking email at certain times of the day, like 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And I know that this is not realistic for everyone's job or every industry, but it's something to consider. And the way that he describes doing this is to have an autoresponder that says something like, "Thank you for your email. I typically check my emails at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. or something like that. So when I check my emails, I will respond at that time." So you're not just leaving people hanging. You're letting them know, I'm going to see your email and I'm going to respond, but it'll be on my time. And that prevents you from constantly going back and forth from doing your work to checking an email, doing your work, responding to an email. And I'm also reading another book called, the author's name is Gary Keller. It's like The Power of One or something like that. And he talks about how we think we're doing a good job multitasking, but instead of doing one thing well, we're actually doing multiple things not well. So that's just something to keep in mind too, that it takes a while for our brain to get back on track. So this 4-Hour Work Week book by Tim Ferriss, I love some of the ideas in there. Some of them are a little stringent for my taste. I like to give myself a little grace. And I also don't want to be packing my time just to get more done. I want to be eliminating things so that I can rest and have self-care and enjoy my life. But anyway, it's a good idea if you can to batch your digital tasks and check your email at a certain time and put the autoresponder on so that folks know. Okay. That was I really got off on a tangent. So number 5 was batch your digital tasks. Number 6, engage in analog activities. So replace some of your screen time with activities that don't require technology, like reading a physical book, writing in a physical journal, or going for a walk, cooking a recipe. So these activities can help you feel grounded and present. All right, number 7, turn off non-essential notifications. So you can go through your phone settings and turn off notifications for apps that are not essential. And this will reduce the number of distractions you receive throughout the day and help keep you more focused. Number 8, use do not disturb mode. So you can activate the do not disturb mode on your devices during focus times or when you need uninterrupted rest. So this can help you stay focused on the task at hand and reduce unnecessary interruptions. On my do not disturb setting, and I have one on from like 11 p.m. to 8:30 a.m., I get no notifications from any apps, but there is a setting for specific phone numbers that you can allow to come through if you're concerned about an emergency. I think there's also a setting, if someone calls twice, it'll ring, something like that. Again, I don't know how to do this for an Android, but if you have an iPhone, you would go to settings and then focus, and then do not disturb, and then you can change the notifications or set a schedule. So again, settings, focus, do not disturb. Okay, number 9, monitor your digital intake. So be mindful of what you consume online. Limit exposure to negative news or content that makes you feel stressed or inadequate. Choose uplifting or educational content that adds value to your life. And remember that the algorithm shows you more of what you watch. So be mindful of what you are looking at. I like to look at goofy stuff that makes me laugh out loud. So I'm laughing quite often while scrolling on my phone. But keep that in mind. The algorithm will show you more of what you watch and more of what you click on. And finally, number 10, practice mindfulness. So whenever you reach for your phone out of habit, just take a moment to pause and ask yourself, why are you doing that? Are you bored? Are you anxious? Are you avoiding something? Like, do you really need to use your phone at that moment? So becoming mindful of your habits is the first step towards changing. All right, so those are the 10 practical strategies to reduce screen time. I'll just go through them again. 1, screen time limits. 2, try the 1sec app. 3, schedule tech-free time, like first thing in the morning or the last hour before you go to sleep. 4, create digital boundaries, like no phones at the dinner table, or no work emails after a certain time, paying attention to your loved ones who are right in front of you. And I wanted to say one more thing about dinner time too. You can always just turn your phones over, turn off the notifications on your watch. If you have those watches that buzz, the iPhone watches. Okay, so that was for 5 batch digital tasks like checking emails at a certain time of the day and using an autoresponder to let folks know. 6, engaging in analog activities like reading a book or writing in a journal. 7, turning off non-essential notifications to reduce distractions. 8, use do not disturb mode. 9, monitor your digital intake. And 10, practice mindfulness and be mindful of your habits and why you are reaching for your phone. So when you start implementing these strategies, you may find yourself feeling more focused, less stressed, and better able to connect with what truly matters to you. And remember, as you are reducing your screen time, practice self-compassion. Remember that reducing screen time is a process, so be kind to yourself as you make the changes. And celebrate any small wins and don't be too hard on yourself. If you slip up, just give yourself grace. Every time, every step that you take towards unplugging is progress. All right, so just to recap, today we discussed the importance of reducing screen time, especially for those experiencing burnout. And we explored 10 practical strategies to help you unplug and recharge. So reducing screen time is crucial because it can reduce stress and can enhance your mental clarity and allow you to be more present in the moment. Okay, so for the past several weeks, we've been talking about various tools in the toolbox that can help with burnout, like daily routines, stress reduction techniques, knowing your values, self-care, self-compassion, gratitude, planning your joy, sisterhood, and now reducing screen time. So there may be some ladies watching who are ready to take these ideas even further. If you are overwhelmed by your never-ending to-do list, I have a solution for you. It is my 4-week hands-on program called the Reignite Your Life Intensive.